Good afternoon, everybody. It's so good to be back in Singapore. I love this city. Also just love this conference as well. It's one of the best conferences I attend on an annual basis, and I go to a lot of conferences. This morning, absolutely amazing. Love the agenda, and it's building up with a lot of similar themes that I'm going to just carry on with. My name is Dan Hiza. I run business development for Plusgrade. Today, we're going to talk about really just some ideas of upgrading your upselling program and designing upsells that customers actually want and that they'll engage with and that can actually drive healthy TrevPAR and drive healthy guest engagement as well. We're going to first start, again, probably going through a few themes that we've seen before, but the landscape, as we've heard, continues to change, and so are guest expectations. Competition is intensifying, technology and AI is accelerating like crazy, hospitality is continuing to evolve, and expectations are just going through the roof. From a competition standpoint, you're not just competing with hotels within your local market. Like when guests are looking, or individuals are looking at, where am I going to go on my next holiday? Where am I going to spend my hard-earned money? They're looking at different countries and different resorts and different destinations, not just within your own region. So putting yourself front and center and making sure that they choose you first at the original looking and booking stage is critical. Tech and AI accelerating, I know we've heard about it enough today, maybe not enough today, but the one thing I would say is whatever tools your hotel or your company is providing you, be it Copilot or Gemini or Claude or whatever other tool that they're giving you, jump in wholeheartedly, both feet, all hands, just get into it, because the first day you use it, you're going to be confused and you're like, what the heck? The second day you use it, you're going to realize, oh my gosh, this is going to make me so much more productive than I've been over the past 5, 10, however many years. Hospitality continues to evolve. I think the key point here, and we've heard it before, is that so many folks are getting pressure from GMs who are getting pressure from owners' reps who are getting pressure from owners. Margins are squeezing, the macroeconomic things, winds that are flowing through the world now, costs are going up. So in this case, every single dollar matters, and it's more important now than it ever has been. And then as far as expectations are concerned, expectations continue to rise, and it's because of all the amazing imagery and social media updates that are happening, as well as just all of the influencers that are out there. Like, if I'm going to go to that resort and that hotel, I want to experience what that person experienced. That's what I want to do, because again, I work hard for my money. I'm going to go to a holiday once or twice a year, and I want to have a great time. So with all of that in mind, and again, we've heard it before in the past couple of discussions, become a positive disruptor. I heard this comment from somebody up on stage about 2 years ago, so I can't claim it. But I love just the term positive disruptor, because it's not taking the status quo. It's going above and beyond and saying, nope, this isn't good enough, especially with guest expectations rising and pressure from finance directors and GMs and owners' reps. We have to rethink what total revenue looks like. It's not RevPAR anymore, it's TrevPAR. We have to rethink how we engage our guests constantly. It's not just a one and done, set a plan for the year. You have to constantly evolve. And we also have to rethink how technology can make it all possible. And making sure that you're auditing, as a person up on stage at the panel said before, critiquing the technology partners that you're with today and saying, are they delivering the best that we can to maximize guest engagement and maximize incremental revenue? Because we know the size of the prize matters, we're here to talk about upselling and upgrading your upselling program after point of booking, throughout the guest journey, pre-arrival, at check-in, and during their stay. If you get it right, and hotel companies who do get it right will realize a 2 to 5% TrevPAR uplift every single year. Again, it's not just once, but every single year. That should be the goal. And how is this built? How does it add up? It adds up at each high intent, as we call it, a high intent moment. After point of booking, so as soon as the guest has booked the hotel, there's psychology shifts. We'll talk about that a bit more, but there's psychology shifts to, from comparing hotels to saying, okay, I want to build a relationship with this hotel, with this destination, and I want to change my trip to make it the best trip possible. We know that the right pre-arrival messages that get to the guest at the right time can drive at least a 1% TrevPAR lift for your hotel. At check-in, it's a totally different experience, and there are a lot of amazing front desk upselling programs that are in place today, great training that's going on. Many of you probably have very good or great upselling happening at check-in. The great thing here is that you should be able to talk to 100% of your guests that are coming in, or maybe not if you have digital keys, whatever. But in this case, guests are opening up their secondary wallet because they've already booked with you, they've already paid off their credit card a month or two ago, and now they have more money to spend. But it's about bringing up and rising the right opportunities to that guest in a smooth conversation that can drive at least a 1.5% TrevPAR increase. And then during stay, guests are relaxed. They've already booked a higher room category. You're not comping rooms anymore or trying not to comp as many room upgrades as you can anymore. They've already checked in. They're calm. And at this point, you can offer certain key upselling opportunities such as late checkout, of course, or any special events that are happening, cocktail sessions or sunset cruises or whatever your hotel offers. All of that adds up to capturing high intent moments and just driving 2 to 5% TrevPAR lift. Again, because guest mindsets change after booking. We've all been there. We've all said, we all go on holiday once a year, twice a year. A friend of mine goes 4 times a year. I don't know how she affords it. But we've all been there. Before booking, you're comparing. You're wondering, where am I going to go? At the point of booking, you're also looking at airfares and hotels and destinations, and you have one single budget in mind. You might do that 30, 60, 90 days before. Nowadays, airfares are expensive, which is going to affect the total budget that a guest is going to spend. However, after point of booking, guests imagine their stay. They're like, what am I going to do when I get there? I cannot wait to get there. And they tend to forget about what they've already spent, and they have new money to spend. It's a different psychological state, and touching them at the right time makes sense. So we're going to talk about you are sending the right offers at the right time in the right channel. And this is critical, and you can do it many different ways. With technology, without technology, it's harder, but you can do it many different ways. And I'll give you some tidbits so you can take back to your properties as well. And we'll start with the right offer. Okay, so with the right offer, we know that guests respond to offers that are clear, that are relevant, that are personalized, and that are easy to understand and say yes to. First, clear. The offer is easy to understand, there's no jargon, it's not confusing, and it makes sense to me. Second, relevant. I know, like I'm traveling on business, maybe I'll extend my trip by a day or two to have some fun in the city or have some fun or have some fun in the resort. So the offer has to match the reason I'm traveling, and that would make me engage to a much higher level. Third, it has to be personalized, and we heard it from teams before, like pulling and using technology to pull the guest reservation information, to pull CRM information, to pull CDP information, and loyalty information, critical, making sure that you're using that so that the offer to me feels personalized, because I'm wanting to build a relationship with that hotel that I'm going to spend $500, $1,000, $5,000, $50,000 in some cases, spend on this holiday. So it has to be personalized. It can't be mass deployed. And as I said, it has to be easy with a one tap or one step, no friction. Make it simple. However, if you've ever received an upgrade offer that looks like this, and this is AI generated and it's a bit of a joke, but we heard it before, like whenever you receive a note that says, "Dear valued guest," that's like an instant no. So again, critique and look at the upgrade offers that you're sending out. Or indeed, if your upgrade offers look like this, and it has a description of how upgrades work, like if you have to describe to a guest how an upgrade works, and if there are clauses and terms and conditions around it, that's all wrong. Like a guest will just say, no, not gonna do this. This is also price driven. maybe with that partial view. I forget the gentleman who said that, but I love that, like partial view. What the heck does that mean? We know guests absolutely love, your results are going to look like this if the guest receives something that looks like those other two AI-generated offers. This is actually from the Fire Festival. If anybody knows what the Fire Festival is, it was a festival in the Caribbean at some point that totally failed because it promised incredible luxury, and this is what people got. But we can do better than this, is what I'm saying. We know guests like clear, easy, simple offers that look a little something like this. You give them the ability of looking at maybe I don't know if this is going to run. If it's not going to run, that's okay. But give them the ability of maybe looking at 3 higher room categories. That's all. Keep it simple. We heard it again from the sessions before. Give them the opportunity to look at, okay, I can book breakfast because I haven't booked breakfast yet, or I can book a spa because, my gosh, I need it, or I can book perhaps a late checkout because my flight's leaving from Singapore at 11 p.m. on Friday. If we get that right, your engagement should be up in the 60 to 70% range of when guests are, of what guests click through to. The offers that come in should be in the higher numbers as well. And again, your total revenue delivered should be just driven off that. Okay. So that's a bit about the right offer. Now we're going to get it at the right time and in the right channel because these two are critical again. And I want to get back to your being like a positive disruptor and making sure that you understand, okay, looking at your current upselling and what works, pre-arrival, at check-in, and during stay. And it's capturing the high intent moments with the right imagery, with the right offers. But let's talk about the post-booking mindset again because, again, guests are coming from a comparison to an imagining point when they're getting closer to arrival. It's the highest intent window, like about a week before arrival, when the guests are just saying, what am I going to do at that amazing resort that I booked a month ago? I've got to figure this out. We know that about 3/4 of guests a week before arrival are totally open to upgrading their room if they get a relevant offer that makes sense to them, that's personalized. This is key, and every hotel is going to change just based upon lead times, and is it a resort or is it a city center hotel? But the key here is you have to look and you have to do A/B tests to make sure that guest engagement is high, and of course, incremental revenue is higher still. We know that guests respond to offers about a week out to upgrade their room. It's a higher priced option, right? So it's like, okay, I can go from my partial view room to that ocean view room, awesome. So that's number one. We also know, based on data, that guests respond to products, services, experiences closer to stay, like 2 to 3 days before arrival. And again, this is in your pre-arrival messaging. That's key because, again, guests are saying, okay, I've upgraded my room, what else is available? And bing, they get a message on their phone that says, okay, perfect. That's number one. Number two, lead with experience and not the price. When we all receive upgrade offers that say, hey, you can upgrade to an ocean view room, partial view, whatever, for $240 a night, that to me it's a yes or a no. Like, it doesn't do anything for me. So the actual messaging matters. So wake up to a beautiful ocean view. That just triggers something in your mind. Like, of course I want to look into that. So again, the click-through rates on that message is high and key. And then the other thing is follow up once. Like, you don't have to spam guests. It's a matter of doing it right, on brand, with the right message in the right language. But you only have to do it once because guests will say if they click into something but they don't act on anything at that point, maybe just one little reminder a day or two before arrival, that's going to drive, again, higher engagement. Okay, that's pre-arrival. Arrival and check-in, as I said, it's an awesome time because you are able to talk to your guests, 100% of them, again, maybe 100% of them. It's instant recognition, the power of simplicity as we heard earlier. Service over sales and frictionless, like instant recognition, if you can surface the right information to the front desk agent at point of check-in, around loyalty levels, history, booking notes, anything that would, we all know, if we all worked at a front desk, I did many years ago, you have 10 or 15 seconds to build a rapport with the guest and see if he or she is open to a potential upgrade, or see if they've already upgraded to one room type, but they didn't book the breakfast, so you just offer one or two things. You keep it simple. In service, like, of course, you don't want to come across as sales. You want to come across as providing a service and enhancing that guest stay. You want the guest to feel like he or she is in control of what they're going to be, enjoying on property. And then frictionless. For the front desk agent, it's got to be easy. It has to be a one-click, upgrade, and then you cut the key and show the guest to his or her room. It has to be smooth and fast. Otherwise, you're going to lose the opportunity at that point. Okay, so with all that in mind, a few things just to recap on as far as my positive disruptor playbook is concerned. First is the right offer. When you get home, check out, get home, what am I saying? We all live in our hotels, right? When you get back to your business and back into your hotel, truly audit and critique your upselling program, be it pre-arrival, at front desk, during stay. Like, do the images work? Do you have partial view room categories that you should just eliminate, which I totally agree with. Make sure that the images match and the timing is right. So at the right time, trigger the offers, as I mentioned, 7-ish days pre-arrival for room upgrades, 2 to 3 days pre-arrival for product services, awesome experiences. In the right channel, so as we talked about, like emails, texts, WhatsApp, WeChats, on your website, in your hotel apps. Make sure the guest understands, oh, wow, I have an opportunity to upgrade here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to look here. So it has to be done at the right channel. And of course, at front desk with great training from the amazing companies that are out there, or your internal training programs. And then with the right technology, like truly critiquing and auditing and making sure, like, hey, my technology partner is innovating and going all in on AI, machine learning, and making it easy for us to engage guests and make that upgrade feel truly personal. Because the total size of the prize is a 2 to 5% TrevPAR lift every single year. Okay, with that in mind, thank you everybody for your time. We are Plusgrade. We're the global ancillary revenue powerhouse. We deliver upgrades and upselling across the travel industry in over 100 airlines like Cathay and Qantas and Garuda and Virgin and Etihad. We do it for most of the world's cruise ships. We do it for thousands of hotels. The cool thing is that we love what we do, and we'd love to partner with you, because this year we're going to deliver over $12 billion of incremental revenue opportunities across our travel partners. And we're going to touch over 50 million individual trips. Like, that's what we do. So the next time you receive an upgrade from one of our partners, and you might have the ability of bidding on that upgrade or buying an upgrade, please do it. That would help. But know that we are so deeply embedded in doing this so well with our partners that's our goal in life. That's what we do. We're exhibiting. Come see me and Adam from Oki, from our Oki team over there. And we're also doing a mini roundtable tomorrow. I think it's around noon tomorrow. And we're going to just go much deeper into upselling and how we can upgrade your upselling program and different ideas from your colleagues. Thanks for the time. Thanks for the attention. Have an awesome rest of the show.